Of course, your comments are welcome. Get interactive with us via social media handles as we sit down for the next almost 2 hours to have this conversation. Now, the largest opposition party, the New Patriotic Party, is set to launch what it described as a major protest against the suspension of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, just as it begins a nationwide tour to thank its supporters for the 2024 general election. The protest comes in response to President Mohammed's recent decision to suspend the Chief Justice following a prima facie determination on petition filed against her. Now, speaking at the launch of the party's thank you tour in Accra, National Organizer Nana Boakye announced the party's intention to strongly oppose what he views as an unjust and politically motivated move by the president.
Is under attack. Do not think that this attack is on the person of Chief Justice Torkornoo. No, it is the entire judiciary. Expect massive protest from us. We will agitate. We will not sit down quietly. We will agitate. This is unconstitutional. Thank you very much, General Secretary, for the inspiration. Now, let's be on our feet to welcome the 2024 presidential candidate, the former Vice President, His Excellency Alhaj Muhammadu Bawumia, to address us.
Kukrudu, Kukrudu, Kukrudu. Thank you very much. Please have your seats. The National Chairman, the General Secretary, the Chairman of the National Council of Elders, our national executives, national officers, the rank and file of all the staff of the headquarters, distinguished supporters of the party, I say to you, good afternoon. We have been through an election, presidential and parliamentary elections in December 2024. And as the General Secretary said, after every election, parliamentary candidates would go around and thank the constituency. And also presidential candidates will go around and thank the nation as a whole. Edubuahin did so, President Kufuor did so, and Dr. Bawumia is also going to do so. I have delayed this thank you tour for good reason. As you know, after the election, the party commissioned the Okwe Committee to examine the causes of our defeat and make recommendations on the way forward. So I decided that it was important to give the committee space to do their work. They were going around all the constituencies, and I didn't want also to be going around all the constituencies at the same time. So we took the decision in consultation with the Council of Elders and with the party that we will wait until after the Okwe report is submitted before we start the thank you tour. So the Okwe report has been submitted, and we are now embarking on the thank you tour. First of all, as the good book says, for all things you give thanks to the Lord. So first of all, we want to thank God for bringing us this far. We couldn't have been here, and we know that Almighty God does things for a reason. There's always a reason, and we may not understand why he has made things go the way they have. So even in defeat, we are thankful to the Almighty God for how far he has brought us. I also want to thank the former president, my boss, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for all the health support he has given me, making me his running mate 4 times consecutively. It's never happened in Ghana or Africa. And then his vice president for 2 terms. I'm most grateful, and he was very supportive of me in the 2024 election, and I will forever be grateful to my boss, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm also very grateful to the former president, President J. Kufuor, who appointed me as Deputy Governor at the Bank of Ghana way back in 2006. And he has been my mentor ever since I entered politics. And I'll be forever grateful to him. I want to thank the National Council of Elders, the national executives, regional and constituency and polling station executives, and party members and supporters for their support and the hard work in the 2024 election. We, of course, decided to start the thank you tour at headquarters, to come here to thank the national officers and also thank the staff, the hard-working staff of the headquarters. There's so much work you do, and many people don't see the work you do because they are not observant of what you're doing. But you're doing very important work, and you keep us going as we go in the field, going round. And so I thought that I should come and say a personal thank you to all of you. You've been very, very, very supportive. And I have recognized this, and for some time now, I have been supportive of the salaries of a few of the women who are here. And I will continue to be supportive of you and even go further in that regard. I also want to, I also want to thank my running mate and my campaign team for their full support. They've done very, very well across this campaign. The fact is, we worked very hard. We tried to get everybody involved. As you know, the General Secretary was the Director of Operations for the campaign. The Women's Organizer organized the women. The Youth Organizer organized the youth. The Nasara Coordinator handled the Zongo, and so on. So we tried to do as much as we could. Notwithstanding our hard work, however, we still suffered a heavy defeat. And when you look at what happened, you see that it was internal. Many of our supporters did not come out to vote. This is really fundamentally why we lost the election. If you look at 2020 vis-a-vis 2024, 2.1 million of our supporters didn't come out to vote. 2.1 million. And you look at John Mohammed's votes, his votes went up by maybe 115,000. So he increased by 115,000 and we went down by 2.1 billion. And that is basically why we did not win. So the key to victory going forward is within the NPP. It is within ourselves because we decided not to vote. So if we decide to vote, we would win. So the key is ourselves. It is ourselves. So that is what we have to understand and take going forward. When we finished the election, there were so many people who were giving different reasons for why we lost. So many different reasons. But people were speaking without data. And you know, you can only speak forcefully with data. When you look at the reasons people were offering, one of the reasons people offered was that they said that they didn't vote for us because our presidential candidate was Muslim. Have you not heard that? Didn't he hear that? When I heard that, I said, this doesn't make sense. This is not the Ghana that I know. Because if you look at it, we went for primaries. We had 10 contestants. I was 1 Muslim, 9 Christians. But the MPP voted for the Muslim presidential candidate. So that could not be the case. So I decided to do some data analysis to test this hypothesis. And when you look at the data is very clear. In many constituencies across the country, the MPP presidential candidate performed better than the Christian parliamentary candidate. In many constituencies across. So it couldn't be, if they were voting because of religion, I shouldn't be performing better than the Christian parliamentary candidates. Even my good friend, Intim Fodio, who is giving a lot of heat to the government at the moment in Parliament. Intim Fodio is a reverend father in Intim Fodio, as in South. But I did better than him in his constituency. So he did so well. I mean, he did and mobilized the votes for me, and I thank him very much. But if you look at all across the country, the fact is that there was no religious factor in the voting. It is only propaganda. There is no religious factor. And in fact, you know, we sought to see so many different institutions undertook research and undertook studies to answer the question. You know, you had our MPs, you had Conrad Adenauer, you had Global Info Analytics, you had different institutions. But when you look at it all, they all came to the conclusion that it wasn't an issue of religion, it is not an issue of tribe. Those two issues have been ruled out in all the findings from different surveys that have been done. So as a party, I'm very happy that, and as a country, I'm very happy that religion and tribe has not entered our political discourse. We should.
Right, so that's the former vice president and the flag bearer of the MPP in the last election, Dr. Bawumia, giving reasons why the party lost the 2024 general election. Now, this is ahead of his national thank you tour, which is starting this weekend in the Western Regional Capital, Takoradi. Well, it's good time to get clarity on this matter. Remember also that at this particular meeting, at this particular program, the national organizer of the party also gave indication of what the party's actions will be in reacting to the suspension of the Chief Justice, Madam Tokono. Let me bring in Dr. Rashid Tanko. He served as Deputy Director of Elections in the last election, and currently also on the line we'll have Richard Ahiagba. He's the Communications Director with the MPP, and then we'll also get to understand the perspective of Dr. Amakomba as well on this matter. So let me start with you, Richard. So this thank you tour is starting this weekend. Dr. Bawumia is leading it, and I'm wondering why. Because if you want to have unity, why don't you get everybody on board? Some are suggesting that it is a subtle attempt to reposition Dr. Bawumia for the 2028 election as the obvious choice for the MPP.
Well, thank you very much. That is further from the truth. In fact, if you listen to the Vice President's statement, he was clear in indicating that everybody is part of this tour, including the people he contested with for the flag bearership. Are welcome and have been duly invited to join the tour. And the tour, in its essence, is the party that is sponsoring the tour. There's a party that is having this tour, a clear departure from what used to be the case where the candidates themselves would have led their own Thanksgiving tour around the country. If that were the case, my indication is that the Vice President office wanted to do this much longer, much earlier, actually, even during when we had the Election Review Committee. But he had to acquiesce to the party's position to say that we want to do a party thank you tour, which he, being a faithful party person, gave up that independence in him running his own thank you tour to go along with the party position. So to answer your question, no, it is not an effort far from the truth, but it's a collective party position to drive and galvanize our grassroots towards regrouping and getting us positioned for victory 2028. So it is not the flag bearers' agenda, but it is the party's agenda to go around and thank the party for the hard work that was done, for the honest effort that was put in. Unfortunately, we're not successful, but we'll live to fight another day.
So you therefore would expect Mr. Kennedy Japan, Kwabena Japan, and those who contested with him in the last primaries of the party to join in this thank you tour?
That is the program. As to whether they will attend, I cannot ascertain, but every one of them have been invited, and I'm pretty sure that they will avail themselves to be part. And it's a national tour. So as to whether people will be available to go through all of them, I'm not sure if that's something I can tell you now. But then the short answer is that people have been invited. Everybody has been invited. It's an inclusive program. It's a party program. So nobody is excluded whatsoever. So I'm sure that they will avail themselves to participate in the national tour of the party.
Let me allow open remarks also from Dr. Rashid Tanko. Dr. Tanko, again, good afternoon for joining us, and thanks for joining us today for the pause.
Good afternoon. Let me say good afternoon to your cherished viewers, my good brother.
Great.
I'm in the field, so let's just take the background as it is.
All right. So I mean, you heard Dr. Bawumia. He led the MPP in the last election. The party lost miserably. Now, he says that the loss was internal. The reason why the MPP did not perform well is because many of the MPP supporters did not show up to vote. And it had nothing to do with religious or tribal affiliation of him as candidate, Dr. Bawumia, leading the MPP in 2024. What will be your reaction to this?
My brother, you see, these people up to now, they don't know why they lost the election. And I'm happy they are still fumbling and then cogitating around to find out why they lost. Even after their report being put together by Professor Michael Okri, they still don't understand why they lost the election. He's saying his people didn't come out to vote. Let me ask Richard. Richard, did you vote or he didn't vote? If you ask Dr. Bawumia, did he vote or he didn't vote? The original chairman, secretaries, and all organizers, did they vote or they didn't vote? Which people are they talking about? Are they having some ghost somewhere who were to vote for them? Because what I know is that all MPP apparatchiks came, queued, and voted. So which people are they referring to that they didn't vote? You see, they don't know, and I'm happy. They would not know. Because we are preparing 30% for them come 2028. And thank God they are cruising towards that direction. Let them continue behaving like ostriches. They don't know. And thank God the gods are working. They will never know why they've lost. Because after Michael Okwe gave them the report, look at what he said. He's also saying different things over there.
I mean, he's virtually, he appears to be quoting from Professor Michael Okwe's report. He says the report exonerates him. And the reason why the party did not perform well can be traced to the fact that their core members, over 1 million of them, did not show up to vote because they had internal issues.
I'm just asking you, which of them? Let's point out, I have said all the hardcore people queue to vote. Because the people he's talking of is referring to Kennedy Japan and his group. That's why he's referring to. You see, but Kennedy was on the queue voting with his executive, all those who contested him. None of them refused not to vote. All of them came. They queued and voted. We have pictures of them. They were even at the collation centers. What is he talking about? You see, what I do know is that MPP is now a terrible disaster. They are in a complete disarray. And it will take them years to come to terms that they lost miserable. Even their current statue in parliament, you know, they managed to steal some 7 seats and brought themselves to about 88. They are supposed to be 81 seats. And we are still chasing them for those seats. So you see, this party is complete disarray. And so I don't know what he's going to thank. Okay, let him go and thank his 38% people. They are the people he wants to go and thank. And they will bring him back to 30%. He himself is positioning himself. He wants to be the next flag bearer again. But you saw what Owusu Bempah said. Now they've suspended him. They've said he should go and face this round committee. They are in another disarray, suspending people who talk against Dr. Bawumia. That's their cup of tea. I don't want to go into their matter. What I do know is that we have another beautiful plan waiting for them come 2028. And I'm praying that God should allow our life to reach 2028. Richard Hiagba, meet me 2028, God willing, and we'll give you 30%.
All right.
Watch it.
But Dr. Rashid, hold it for a minute. Let me go to Dr. Richard Amakumba. So, Doctor, you've heard Dr. Bawumia. Clearly, the point he makes is that the MPP lost because they had internal issue, and not because the MDC presented any superior, program than the MPP in the last elections, and that it had nothing to do with religious or tribal affiliation. I don't know what you make of this as a political scientist.
I thank my previous speaker because he's brutally honest. And there's a truth that he's speaking.
The connection to you is that bad. I don't know whether if you can position yourself so we can hear you well.
Okay, let me move a bit.
It is better now. It is better now, sir.
Okay. I was saying that the person who was speaking before I came on was too brutally honest. And the MPP should take a cue from him and learn their lesson. Because the party is still divided, you see. When I hear somebody say, we didn't lose because of anything, but because they presented the wrong candidate, it's coming from Nanadi. Because he's falling out with Bawumia, and Bawumia is no longer his candidate, and he wouldn't want him to be the leading candidate. So, what's her name? That man who went to the studio and said that they presented the wrong candidate. What is the wrong candidate? What is the wrong? You went to pose for 3 times before you won. First one was wrong candidate. Second one was super wrong. And the third round is a win. That makes no sense. You see, so it's just an excuse to scapegoat Bawumia to get him out. And so the party is still divided. And they have to see it. If they don't see that, then they are deluding themselves. They're still divided. Nanado is on one way, and Bawumia is going another way. If you want to do this, these people also do that, and back and forth, instead of trying to mend the fences and get them together, genuinely get them together. There are too many people in the party who are beholden to Nanado still. You see, the faction is in there, and this is what's going on. When you hear people saying things that he presented the wrong candidate, he's not there speaking. Why did that Usman Poweri get that idea from? He ran a poll or what? No, that's what the president wants, so that he can bring his own candidate. What is it? Champon and now Alan. Not Alan, the other one. You see, it is not good. What is going on is not good. Besides, when you lose this colossally, you don't go on a thank you talk. No. Thank you for what? For not voting for me. Sorry. Forgive me. Jatwa talk. Yes, that's what you do in this instance. And that is not just the flag bearer. All the party people should be doing that. You see, so your question was good. Why are the others not present?
Right.
You see, and that will make it bona fide. And it is not an easy thing for you to reconcile with all your people, but at least some of the people who run against Bawumia should be with him. to make it legitimate that this is a party doing it. When you do what they are doing now, it means they are so divided, and it's not good at all. Even now you can't come back together. How are you going to come back later on when the heat is more heated for whoever is going to come out? So it's not good.
All right.
It's disingenuous.
Let me allow Dr. Asante to have a bite of this matter. Dr. Asante, Dr. Bawumia says 1 million people, over 1 million people supporting the MPP did not come out to vote. And I'm asking myself, what could force core supporters of the MPP, over 1 million, to stay away from a process that was designed to sustain the party in power in the last election? Right. We're trying to get the attention of Dr. Asante. And if Dr. can hear me, right. So we can. I'll also be taking you to the Ghana Journalists Association, the international press, and there is a press conference going on. But perhaps I don't know whether I can bring in Rachina here, but to respond to this matter of people staying out in the last election and to find out whether the party is aware of the reason why they did not show up on December 7, 2024.
I totally disagree with Dr. Tanko. And as for Prof. Amwakuba, I know that he cares deeply about the party, and I will urge that he joins hands with us to try and work this effort to bring the party back. The truth of the matter is that, as I indicated, this is a collective party program that is being sponsored. The Vice President's comment, actually, you rightly said it, that emanates from his reading and understanding of what the committee is recommending for the party to do. But it's open secret that we've had some challenges to do with our delegate system. And if you paid attention again, the Vice President alluded to that, saying that we're going to change the process. We're going to expand it and have more people be in the decision-making and selecting who then becomes our flag bearer and in other cases, parliamentary candidate. So that's a key concern. One of the reasons that actually drove apathy in the party. And leading to the elections, one of the key things that the party was fighting and trying to correct and actually overcome is general apathy in the party. So it's a known fact that we had that hurdle to overcome, and the Vice President referring to it is a fact that the level of enthusiasm at our base was not as it ought to be, and that contributed to that many people not being enthused such that they were not able to take the trouble to participate in the election. So that's a manifest fact, and I think that is not a secret. So
but Richard, remember, I don't know, the committee that was put together by the Association Secretariat of the party, headed by the former majority leader, Chairman Sabon. So in his recommendation to the party, he referenced the part that a lot of supporters in the party in the Ashanti region were unhappy with some comments that came from former President Kufuor, for example, the matter regarding road construction in the area, and some comments, the role of family members of the former president and their role in government, and some of these matters. I don't know whether you are finding ways to also address it.
Thank you. After that, I'm unable to speak to that report because I haven't read it. But the truth of the matter is that we are aware of these challenges, and that's also a matter that may contribute to the internal lack of enthusiasm, which then leads to you being able to say that a significant amount of your base then come out to vote. And the NDC knows that. I mean, if they are in any doubt, they should check the 2020 election results. Where are all those people? Okay, we got in excess of 6.5 million votes. Okay, so fast forward to 2024, and our votes dropped by a certain margin. Where did all those people go? The votes that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama got is not far exceeding what he got in 2020. So then you can reasonably, just looking at the number, say that the people who voted for NPP in 2020 did not turn out to vote. Because if they had turned out and voted for NDC, then you can say that. But NDC didn't get those votes. The question is, where are those people? And we're telling you that one of the key things which the Vice President talked about, the former Vice President talked about, is that our people didn't come out to vote. And I'm pointing that to you, that we were dealing with an issue of internal unhappiness or apathy, if you want to put it that way. That was one of the challenges we're dealing with, and it was manifested. So what you then see with the numbers is that we're not quite successful in dealing with what we have identified to be an apathetic situation in our party that we're not able to deal with sufficiently. Hence, the turnout was low amongst our base to be able to vote for us. This thank you tour is calculated to galvanize the party, fix the issues that ought to be fixed, and to really get us back to where we will regenerate our party and then get the passion back and work this party back to power. And you know, today, what we have in Ghana is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. And we need to fight back and restore democracy in our country.
All right, let me allow Dr. Asante to have a bite now. He just joined us before I cross over to the International Press Center. Dr. Asante, does it occur to you that the MPP has been able to identify the reason why it lost the 2024 election? They appear to still settle on the fact that their members did not come up to vote.
Yes, they've gone to the field to pick data, and if that's what their data is saying, fine. But I hold something different in terms of my view, in the sense that in political science, when you expect, say, 20 people to vote for you for a particular election, and only 10 turn out to vote for you, what it means that the people have protested against you. It's a protest vote. So they did not go. They knew very well that if they went there, your vote would have gone up, and they didn't go. It's a protest vote. It's an indirect vote. So they were not there physically, but by their action, they voted against you. And you must examine. They should have gone ahead to find out that what occasion that. This is a party that people put them into office with 1 million votes difference. Why is it that the same group of people don't want them to maintain power again? That is the question that they should have found. But that is the internal affairs that they can look at and deal with. But for me, and from where I sit, I believe that the people voted, but they voted indirectly against them. It's not that they didn't go. Yes, it is true that they did not go there to vote, but it's an indirect vote against them.
And do you agree with Dr. Bawumia when he said that his religious background or tribe did not play any role in the defeat that he suffered in the hands of the NDC?
Oh, it was just a propaganda people were using, because you see, people are not. I'm not sounding pompous or knowledgeable in every subject. No, I have very little knowledge. But if you read the literature on voter choices, issue of religion, ethnicity do not play any significant role at all. So I knew from the word go that what they were saying was totally wrong, and it's not true. Because if you look at the Muslim factor, look, until Dr. Bawumia came into the political space, the two dominant parties have been what? Occupied by what? Christians, who Muslims have voted for them all the time. So why would they reject their own, if I may put it that way, in this election? It tells you that Muslims vote for other things, not based on religion or maybe based on ethnicity. It's not true. Those who don't know the literature, they don't want to waste time on that. Issues people vote for are bread and butter issue, the economy, infrastructure development, the fight against corruption, unemployment, and the rest of them. The big issue. And of course, we have constituency-specific and regional-specific issues. That tied together, these are the things that people vote on, but not where you come from and what you profess. People like us, I am not a Christian. I am a traditional person, but I vote all the time. Why is it that I don't go and look for people who are not traditionalists and vote for them? I vote for issues.
My final question for you is that Dr. Bawumia says he's embarking on a national thank you tour, and he'll be doing so together with those who contested with him in the NPP's primaries. We didn't see any of them at today's event. All we saw was Dr. Bawumia and the General Secretary and, of course, the national organizer. The suggestion for many is that it is just an attempt by the party to get him to be the favorite ahead of the 2028 elections.
It could be so or it could be otherwise. But what I see is that it's unnecessary adventure. Why am I saying that? There are a lot of lingering challenges within the party field, on various conflicts that have not been resolved, and they are simmering within the party and giving birth to people like Adjoa Safo and the rest. They must find time and deal with these things. And after that, then they can go a thank you tour and unite the people. How do you unite the people or thank people when they have differences amongst them and you are shoving them under the carpet? For me, that is no. But who am I? I'm just an ordinary person telling people about my views and what I think. The party is so strong and bigger than me, so the party can decide what it wants to do. But I believe that the best way out is to deal with the simmering tension and problems that have engulfed the party, and that is the way to go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sasante. Dr. Richard Mwakumba, Mr. Nyagba has invited you back into the MPP. Is it an invitation you accept?
It's not necessarily an invitation that I accept, but it's a good effort. You will not believe this is the first time a party operative, a senior operative, has called me to come. Nobody has ever. I don't know whether they are afraid of what. And they are not honest. The main thing is honesty. People didn't vote. Most of them will say, okay, you guys, you don't listen to anything we say. You think you know everything. Okay, you go and do. So we'll sit home, go and do. Let's see how you do. That is what happened. You see, so now if you want to do it right, be honest. It is not called Tankito. It's called Jantuato. We are sorry. Whatever it is that made you this upset and stayed home, we are sorry. That's the truth. You are making inroads this way. Then you talk to them, you find out that why were you so upset? They will tell you. Because Anado doesn't listen to anything. It was family and friends government, and they did whatever they want. The economy was bad. The stealing was too much. Imprudence. Stealing with imprudence. It's on and on and on and on and on. So please,
right.
This young man who spoke, was it the one who spoke before me? He is right.
Right. We'll leave it here.
So the difference is before you go on a tank people.
All right.
What is the point of a tank people when you are so right? And it's still going on. You can see it clearly. Anado on one side, what he wants is what the surrogates say, and he's hiding behind it. He's the one who wants to say it. And as long as that is going on, there will never be unity.
All right, Dr. Richard Mwakumba, thank you so much. Because we have to cross over to the International Press Center, I'm unable to continue with the conversation, but we'll leave it here. All of you have made good points, and I'm sure that the party will take them on board. Now, I can take you to the International Press Center, where the Ghana Journalists Association President, Mr. John Ford, is addressing a number of issues relating to journalism practice in the country. Let's cross over now.
Colleagues, whenever we talk about media rights, freedoms and responsibility, the regulator always comes to mind. How do we all expect the National Media Commission, which is NMC, as the regulator to sanitize the media space? Unfortunately, as we speak, there's no NMC in place for the past 5 months. The tenure of the last commission expired in December 2024. But since then, a new commission has not been inaugurated into office. Our checks indicate that some constituents are yet or were late to submit their nominations to the NMC Secretariat, hence the delay. This is a clear sign of how we relegate matters of the media to the back burner in national affairs. In the circumstance, we call on constituents that have not submitted their nominations to the NMC Secretariat to do so without delay in order to pave the way for the inauguration of the new commission so they can start work immediately. In the interim, we urge the NMC Secretariat to go ahead with the inauguration of nominations received so far to enable them start work while waiting for the others to join later. Whatever the case may be, The absence of the NMC in the circumstances is a dangerous and undesirable situation for the media and the nation at large. Update on WordPress Freedom Day 2025. Colleagues, as we informed you in our last media engagement, we intend to commemorate WordPress Freedom Day in a unique fashion this year. Remember, last year we brought innovation to the occasion by organizing the annual ceremony in Koforidua, the Eastern Regional Capital. It was the first time in recent memory that a national commemoration of WordPress Freedom Day was held in the regions. This year, we will give the occasion another touch of innovation by honoring distinguished individuals and institutions that have championed and supported the cause of media freedom and the GJA. We are preparing earnestly for the ceremony scheduled for 2nd May 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be the special guest of honor this occasion. So we expect all our key stakeholders, friends, the media colleagues, and everyone to attach seriousness to this event and grace it on the D-Day. Colleagues, preparations, update on 4th African Media Convention. Update on the 4th African Media Convention. Colleagues, preparations are also underway earnestly for the organization of the 4th African Media Convention, slated for Marrakesh, Morocco, from 27th to 30th May 2025. Following the highly successful organization of the 3rd African Media Convention held in Accra last year, Ghana represented, Following the highly successful organization of the 3rd African Media Convention held in Accra last year, Ghana, represented by the GJA, is playing a key role in the organization of the Marrakesh Convention. We will keep you updated on further details of the convention in subsequent engagement. But before then, we'll share the link with you. Registration will end in few days, or I think in a week time. So all those who are interested and who want to be in Morocco, Marrakesh to be specific, for the 4th African Media Convention should do well to register when the link is shared. I think the MC will share the link with all of you. Issues of national concern. Colleagues, in line with our commitment to use our periodic news conference to address some national issues we deem critical today, we wish to address 2 major issues: Galamsey and the renewed Boko conflict. Let's first talk about Galamsey. There is no institution, I dare say, that has stayed the fight against Galamsey more than the media. The GJA has instituted an award category on the subject matter for many years now to encourage our rank and file to keep the cameras, microphones, and pens on the massive destruction of our land, water bodies, and lives by Galamsey. We shall never stop this fight until Galamsey is knocked out. We wish to commend all our comrades in the fields working hard for Mother Ghana, even at the peril of their lives. Colleagues, we have observed some positive steps by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources towards dealing with the Galamsey problem. We wish, at this point, to commend the Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, for a show of commitment to the fight against Galamsey. We, however, think there are more to do to ensure greater success, such as the repeal of the law that allows for mining in forest reserves and the declaration of state of emergency in targeted areas to ensure a frontal attack on Galamsey. We also demand from the minister and the government the protection of journalists and facilitation of their work in mining fields to enable them discharge their duties without hindrance, fear, and threat to their lives. We urge the minister to immediately collaborate with the GJ and the media to fashion out ways in which the media can play a greater and more impactful roles in the fight against Galamsey. Comrades, on the renewed Boko conflict, the GJ is disheartened at the turn of events. We want to add our voice to the many calls for peace to prevail in the area. We call on all sides to the conflict and indeed all Ghanaians to promote peace in Boko. We must also support the effort of the Asante Otunfo Osetutu II towards resolving the conflict. Finally, we wish to advise media practitioners to be extremely circumspect in their reportage and comment in order not to undermine the peace process. Media houses must not give their platforms to people who may want to foment trouble in the area. We should all help to promote peace in Boko, because whatever affects Boko affects Ghana. And you and I are part of Ghana. Ghana is our motherland. We must keep alive the whole national slogan. Once again, we must keep alive the old national slogan. And I quote, "One nation, one people, one destiny." Long live press freedom in Ghana. Long live GJA. Long live Ghana. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for the president for that delivery. Thank you very much, Mr.
All right, so we brought you that live news conference from the International Press Center, the GJA, on a number of national issues. We'll take a short break here on the when we return. We'll talk about the Tamale Teaching Hospital and the decision taken by the Health Minister.